What it is, what it ain't. Welcome to the Just Talk Show. I'm your host with the most SG. We got everybody in the building. Well, not everybody. We got Spider and we got CJ up in the building. And today we're gonna be talking about a couple things. You know what I'm saying? The rivers of blood that's floating around in South America. We're gonna be getting to a little bit of these reptilians and a little bit of Super Bowl, man. Y'all make sure y'all watch the whole show. Don't be short but short and get off early. We want everybody to stay tuned, stay all the way in and get this good information. Welcome to the Just Talk Show, and we finna go in. We're gonna go ahead and drop this first video. Let me see, let me get it queued up. Top notch till I drop your brother notch you out. And that new block. Check me out.
Nope, this is not the one you saw yesterday. It's February 7th, and another river has turned to blood. And by the way, while these rivers are turning red like blood, there is all sorts of insane stuff happening around the earth that I'm about to show you. And when I say insane, I mean things that don't normally happen. It was cute yesterday when people were trying to say the Peru River turned to blood because iron oxide or something. This one is in Argentina. I told you, you're going to throw out all those baseless claims. This is not normal. And like I told you yesterday, when the waters turn to blood in the Bible, it was always a very fearful thing of God's judgment. Whether we're talking the Exodus or in the Great Tribulation. And while these rivers are turning into blood, we're hearing ridiculous sounds coming from the heavens. Scary sounds. Check them out.
All I hear are these sounds. And owls hooting. It is insane, crazy. It's like the whole sky, and they're not like stopping. They don't stop. They just keep. It feels like this is so scary. I don't know what this is.
I mean, that sounds not identical to worlds. Is that what's coming? This part's crazy. While all that's happening, we're having deep sea fish like the devilfish come up to shallow waters. Dark devilfish, huh? Very coincidental. Remember in the Bible when it talks about certain trees being in the desert so you would know God did it? What about this right here? 2025 is getting exciting.
There you have it, guys. 2025 is starting off, man. Crazy, man. The title of this show is What's Happening in the World. Man, we got the president, tariff in chief, Trumpzilla, signing executive orders to his hands bleed. I mean, he's signing everything, man. Wazoo. We already had 2 terrorist attacks. We got planes flying out the sky, dropping left and right. We got wars, Hamas and all type of happenings, man. We still got all this black on black crime still happening, man. But I tell you what, we're gonna go ahead and get into this blood river topics, and we can just go in a little bit what's been going on in the world these days. But I'm gonna let CJ go ahead and give a spiel on the blood red river. Just Talk Show.
Appreciate the introduction, Mr. SG, and welcome, Mr. Spider. But man, I think we're living in the sign of the times, my friend. I think we have been waiting on the return, and I think we have the signs, my friends, because the last time this occurred was in Exodus, man, the 7th chapter and the 14th verse. This was when Moses was telling the king to let his people go, and then because Pharaoh refused, he told Moses, "Hey, go down there to the Nile River, man, and go and give it a little tap with your staff." And the whole Nile River turned with blood. Now, we wasn't allowed to see that. But guess what? It's 2025 and this is in Argentina. We allowed to see this. And I'm gonna go ahead and quote something else, man. Revelation 16:4. It says the third angel poured out his bowl into the rivers, and the springs of the water became blood. Now, I'm not down there to taste it, but it sure looked like blood to me. Now, I, I'm just being honest, man. And the brother went on to speak about trumpets in heaven. Now, I'm just saying, if you hearing sounds just randomly in the sky, man, you don't see no plane or no helicopter or nothing. I think you need to refer to the trumpets of heaven, my friends. It may be a time for us to wake up and turn from our sinful ways, man, and try to repent a little bit, if especially if you ain't got your business affairs in order. So that's just my first take on this, because like SG said, man, it's several things going on, but that's just one of the things we highlighting tonight, man. Like he said, it's planes falling out the sky all randomly. It's continued black on black crime. We need to unite as a one. We I think we all witnessed what occurred on the halftime show, and if you can't read subliminal messages, man, you may need to get up to speed a little bit, because Uncle Sam is not a black guy, and Samuel L. Jackson was playing him last night. But I'm gonna let Spider give his take, and then I'm gonna further this conversation, man, because I think the viewers need to know what's coming.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Hey,
definitely interested in that. Before Spider go, yeah, hold your thoughts on that Super Bowl thing. We'll get into that segment. But yeah, go ahead, Spider. What you think, man?
man, first of all, first and foremost, I want to question the validity of that video, because I've been saying for years now, uh, Jesus and God both said, I ain't coming back. Just throw the whole planet away. I've been saying it because, man, it is some foolery going on down here. And so, yeah, if if by chance that is what it is, then it is what it is, and we can't do them and call it like it is. Strange time. On the subliminals of all the other stuff. I thought that was funny too. You brought that up with the halftime show. I went to work this morning, and we had this mass safety meeting, and the orator of the meeting, he started off by saying, hey, everybody have a good weekend. They were like, yeah. I said, did you watch the Super Bowl? He said, one person said, yeah. He said, did you enjoy the halftime show? That same one person said, no. I said, damn. I think a couple of people said damn too. But yeah, so yeah, that's my take on the river situation. But it seems like bruh CJ, he ready to go in. So without further ado, bruh, put something else on my mind so I can clap back.
Well, hold on. Let me get my little take on the river thing, and then a couple of things I forgot to mention. We had the LA fires going on. We got the drones going on. We got the egg UFOs going on. Man, it's all type of stuff happening in the world. Now we got rivers turning blood red. Now, to be devil's advocate, no pun intended, because so they say Yahweh was the devil. We don't get all that. But to be devil's advocate, now they say that these rivers that turn red is like the man mentioned, oxygenized oxygen, or was it some type of chemical in the water, or they even might say it's something like red algae. I think studies have been shown when these incidents first occurrence and these rivers turn red. It's been rumored that this happened throughout history a bunch of times. And when they do the studies, they finding red algae, which I didn't know they had red algae until I looked up it. I seen came across this a couple years ago. And what the guy mentioned, I guess he said oxygenized or certain chemical. Now, uh, blood, I guess has that irony taste to it, cause it tastes like iron. I don't know if anybody ever lick their wounds or whatever. It tastes a little iron and blood too. So that might be just a spin. What I mean? They say, well, it ain't nothing but iron in the water. Well, that's what's in your blood that make it red and have that same taste to it. But I'll let Junior piggyback off of that. Am I going somewhere with it? And what's the validity of the claims? Is it real blood, or that's what you got to say about the algae thing?
Well, I'm not saying the method that he could use, because the Most High could use any method he choose to use, whether it be man or his creations, as far as that's on this planet. So it could be explained scientifically through something like that, of iron being high, or whatever we want to say. But I want you all to realize this in the same time. Science is always trying to prove that the Most High doesn't exist. I know you know y'all know this. That's why when he said it's a firmament there, and then for scientists to come back and say, "Oh no, it ain't no firmament there, man. We can fly out past the Van Allen belt and this, that, and the third." Uh, why we ain't doing that on the regular then? If we can just go through high radiation, you see what happens to people that's exposed to high radiation, right? Their hair fall out, they get mad with vomitus, and their nails fall off. All type of bad things happening to them. I don't think a little plastic little air suit is gonna protect you, my friend. So I,
Yeah.
I'm of a different opinion. So, like I said, it possibly could be explained scientifically, but like I told you, science has always tried to limit what the Most High can do. So that's to answer your question.
I mean, before I let Spider go, I would say, back in the day, back when they had, the Spanish Inquisition and the Catholic Church was going around burning people at the stake. Yeah, I think they tried to drive a wedge in between science and religion. You know what I'm saying? Science is trying to disprove God. But that's an old way of thinking, old way of teaching. That was an old narrative that the Catholic Church and all them put out. These days, man, scientists, we're trying to prove the existence of God with the unified field theory, man. The people, more people, more physicists dive into this thing. They actually proving the existence of God. Hence the God particle that the people at CERN discovered. They said, well, it had to be, it's all probability, and after you go so deep that it's the creator that's controlling everything. The electron, the old saying is the electron conscious or not, because it's knowing that it's been observed. So what do we call it? The observer, what we call it, the Most High, what we call it, Yahweh, Yeshua, the spirit, ancestors. There's something going on, man. You know what I mean? Consciousness itself. You know what I mean? But that's my little quick take. Let's see what's the Spider Man got to say. Just talk show.
Oh man, knowledge of self, consciousness. That's it's almost uh like what they say about common sense. It just ain't common these days. There's been a movement for about the last 10 to 15 years. The knowledge of self movement, the conscious movement, and you've been having a lot of black people trying to move to be on a more spiritual level, vibrate more vibrantly, uh, living off their trying to live in their more higher selves instead of their lower selves. But it's like it's an uphill battle. Um, you know, I like to see the movie. I like seeing it. You had the ladies going to the natural hair, the guys referring themselves as kings and referring to the women as queens and the women as such. Um, but it's like there's still this division. And speaking of this division, with the new number 47, it's like the seeds that he's sowing. It's like I don't know. It's like he is under the guise of bringing unity, but like all the actions is division. I mean, it's plain. You know that's what you do. You tell your network one thing, but then you do another, and you garnish everybody's hopes and dreams with uh, these actions and everything, but then turn around and all the actions that you performing is it's going to yield a different outcome. But yeah, so that's all I want. That's what I want to speak on that. So how we moving now, fella?
I mean, I respect your opinion on the 47, 47, the great AK 47, Don John. You know what I'm saying? John Gotti, Teflon Dunn, if we call him, you know what I mean? I start calling him Trumpzilla, cause man, he's just a monster out here in these streets, man. Uh, tariff in chief, man. But you're right, he is signing a lot of stuff, and in my opinion, it ain't causing division. I think it's more just trying to, strengthen the country, and get back to common sense. We got a businessman running stuff. We ain't got no paid out politician, but you know what I'm saying. I don't want to make this show all about Trump. I guess we can get in that a little bit later on.
I
But I
mean,
think what goes on.
you already on it now. You ain't got to
Well,
jump ship
well,
because
let me get my last little quote on this topic before we head off.
Okay,
Uh, on what the second half of that video spoke to, this was I was alluding y'all to, and I wanted to give you scripture before you left. So when you have time, just go back and read it for yourself. But starting at Revelations 1, it's gonna be seven trumpets gonna get sounded by seven different angels. And this is to cue the most apocalyptic times. So this the stuff she hearing in the sky, that is not just random, my friends.
yeah,
So the seven trumpets are sounded by seven different angels, like I told you, and the events that follow are all described in Revelations chapter 8 to 7. I mean 8 to 11. So when you have time, just go read that for yourself, man. It's a quick read, starting at 1 and going chapter 1, starting at 8 and running on through, man. And you're gonna see which each one is gonna be more calamity going on. So, don't just say, "Oh, that's strange." I'm just gonna chalk it up to that just being strange with that river right there running red. And Mr. Spider was like, he wanted to see the validity of it. That's not the first one in South America that done turned red, my friend. So just when you have time, do your own research, because I don't want to put out false information. I want to everyone to be warned, because when he comes back, and he's not coming back as a friend, he's coming back with vengeance, man. So if you're not on the side of where you need to be, man, I just don't want everybody to just, what I'm saying, to have an opportunity to potentially save themselves. Now, that's my final take on that subject. And I just hope everybody does what I've asked. Just do your own research to see what these calamities are going to bring about.
Spider, go ahead. You got a chance to rebuttal or add to that comment if you like.
I mean, hey, we all ride in different vehicles, but we all trying to get to the same destination. What when I say vehicles, I'm referring to whichever belief system, religion, whatever it is, one's want to utilize to make to be a better man or woman. So like I said,
Okay.
just because I'm riding in the Chevy and you riding in the Cadillac and you riding in the Benz, it don't matter what you riding in, especially if it helps man or woman be a better version of themselves, or what would be pleasing in the sight of uh, their their creator or their supreme being. And if that enables one to be, you know, to exhibit all the traits of a just person, then I don't see where that person would be punished. But like you said, uh, being right with him, that's like I said, that's gonna be up to each individual. And if it's a sign of if there's an end coming near, uh, which me personally, I wouldn't say that that's something I would be worried about, because like it also mentioned about that you ain't gonna know when he coming no way, so don't even ain't gonna rack my brain and stress myself out trying to figure out if it's gonna happen or if it's not gonna happen. He put a cycle in place and then letting that cycle play out. Now if do I think he's gonna interfere with that cycle? I just gonna let it, or just let it run its course. That's that's what's gonna be determined. That's me.
Well said. I especially like your analogy about the we all going to the same place in different vehicles. That was quite brilliant. And far as the end is coming near, man, you know what I mean? Like I kind of agree with you on that a little bit too, Spider. They've been saying that since the beginning of time, man. Since the beginning of religion, the end is near. I think it's just a fear tactic, respectfully. I think it's just a fear tactic to get people to kind of fall in line on what the priest and what the church is saying, because if you think the end is coming, you're not gonna try to plan for your future. We're not just like when they had the slaves come and they gave them the Bible and took them away from their old religion, their own teachings. They all, the Bible said, "Oh Lord, Jesus coming back," and the old slave mama didn't worry about her credit score, didn't worry about teaching generational wealth, didn't worry about buying houses, and then they just kept on holding on until Jesus come back. You know what I mean? And I kind of got offended by that. You know, coming.
You paint a false narrative because Hebrews are black. So if those Africans
Well,
hadn't particularly weren't exposed to, you know what I'm saying, that religion, that was on them. It may have been in a different language, but the oldest set of the Ten Commandments was found here in the United States. I just want you to know that.
well, I'm speaking specifically to my worldview. I believe that the trans African slave trade actually did happen, and people were brought to Haiti, and they were brought to
Where where are
South
all the ships?
Carolina and the
Where are
Mississippi.
those sunken? Where are those sunken ships that would be proof of that?
Well, I mean, I well, we can get into that. Wood
I,
deteriorates, but let me
well,
just finish my point. Let me finish my point. In my world narrative, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm just saying respectfully, in my narrative, the trans African slave trade did happen. Africans were traded, were not all of them. We know some Black Indians here, but Congo Africans, dark skinned Africans, were brought over from were captured by warring tribes and sold into the slave trade. Took to places like Haiti and Brazil and these other slave ports, and then from there shipped to the Americas. The first originated with tobacco farming and sugar cane, and then they went to cotton and whatever cash crops at the time. Now, my thing is, they wouldn't let in my worldview, they wouldn't let the slaves read, they couldn't practice their own language, and they couldn't, do all these things, but they did give them the Bible. And the Bible was kind of one of those things that say obey your slave master, obey all this and and the narrative. And then all these generations of black mamas and everything, and everybody saying just hold on to Jesus come, but they never. My point is they never focus on generational wealth. They never focus on building their credit. Never focus on you know improving your body, because they think everything is a kingdom set for them up in heaven. And that's just my opinion.
well, I'm
Now,
I'm thinking you're being led into believing that because a J hadn't been invented but 500 years. So if you go back to the time of Christopher Columbus, like right before that, there was not a J alphabet. So what you're calling on, like I told you, we're using all the old things that we've been taught and not tried to do the research as adults ourselves. And if you'll go back and look, Yah would be what we call them, because that's why you say hallelujah, hallelujah. So I believe you just kind of following what you were just told and taught, and you hadn't tried to explore on the outside of that, and
yeah,
that's why you've hit that barrier. So there was no J; it was a YA.
yeah,
So
yeah, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but look, I'm a believer in Yeshua, Jesus. I got him tattooed on my arm. I just don't think he was God. I mean, I don't think he was God, God walking around in the flesh. I mean, but I do believe that Jesus was there, and he was a prophet, and he was a ascended being, and he was sent here, from the Creator to help mankind. But I don't think he was, the
Right.
Jedi mind trick that he's God himself. Now, that being said, I wasn't just speaking just Jesus in particular. I'm just talking about the mindset of the end is near. You can even say a doomsday cult can say the same thing that what they when
And
they
that's not what I
kill.
was leading. That's not what I'm leading the viewers to believe. I'm leading you to believe that like it's writing on the wall, and if you're not kind of prepared, you're just gonna just try to just let these scenarios play out, and then when you start seeing people just disappear like that, then you're gonna be like, oh man, let me fall on my knees and try to repent, man. Something's actually going on. But if y'all go back and look at that flight, man, that disappeared a few years ago, man, headed to Beijing, man, that's something really eerie that should put all that on our radar. These flying orbs that they don't want to say what it is. That's really weird, man. And it's
You,
described in
you know,
Ezekiel.
it
So
would have been weird if they were flying over a desert, because then you can't find the wreckage. But flying over an ocean and disappearing, I mean, it's the ocean. That's a lot of land to try to cover. That's a lot of water, and the depths are
well, it's actually a
beyond
video
what you
out
can know.
there. It's actually a video out there now, my friend, of what truly happened. It was a drone that was there. They just didn't want to release it until now.
So
But
you
the
saying
the,
You
the
it's
talking
people
about the video of the orbs flying around and then it disappeared?
it went into a transportal state. So
the
like
drone
I
or the
told you,
plane?
it's a lot of things going on that we're unaware of. It happened under former President Obama, but those files were put away, and the people, if you go look at the manifest of who was on it, these people were back engineering that information, man, about how to open these portals and how to close them. And they were on the way to Beijing to give it to the Chinese first, and that's not going to set well with interests of other governments. Let's just say that.
So
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 Well,
what you sound like you alluding that they were shot down.
no, sir, I never said it. It
I'm
was
not.
shot down
I'm just saying. You said it was in the interest. It would be in the best interest of other government for them not to get deliver that information to whatever its
because
destination
they'll
may
be
be.
able to open these portals. So
Mhm.
instead, they opened it and sent them to what's on the other end of that portal.
Oh well, damn.
well, I
So
don't know. Well, I don't mean to cut you off, Spider, but I don't know if this is misinformation or not. But I watched a 2-hour documentary not too long ago on that flight, and they said that the facts were out that the pilot crashed the plane into the ocean. They found some debris, and they said the reason the pilot crashed and everything. They gave a scenario with the black box and everything. Now, I did
yeah,
see
where is
it.
that black box then?
What I'm saying is I think they recovered some of the information and everything. If I'm not mistaken, I don't want to spread any misinformation. I
I think
did
you're
see
misquoting.
I did well I know I did see a 2-hour video on it, and they said they specifically said that the pilot crashed into the ocean. Now, that being said, I don't know the validity of that, but I will say this: as far as that video of the orbs surrounding the missing plane that went missing, if this plane is flying over the ocean and it hit a portal, who took the video?
I just told you it was a drone, my friend. You like I told you, we would allude to that a previous. I mean, on a episode coming up where I'll have time to give you the data, that you review the data. And like I told you, if it was in the best interest of another country for it to not fall into their hands, it's kind of best to dispose of the engineers and the physicists that have come up with the technology. Try kind of basically like how they tried to discredit Mr. Tesla after he had basically given everything. He's the one that invented the electricity, powered all these world fairs. After after Niagara Falls. And people are like, man, I haven't seen that much light ever in my whole life. But yeah, and they just try to discredit him as he got older. But it's a reason why the billionaire.
Hello, CJ. I think we might have lost CJ for a minute. But yeah, he got some good points. You know what I mean? CJ do be having some great takes and everything. Spider,
Yeah,
you wanna fill in a little bit to CJ get back in, just
yeah.
talk
Like I,
shit.
like I was
Yeah,
saying, then we can.
yeah. I'm sorry about that, fellas. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
They,
Spider,
yeah. I
Spider.
apologize
I tell
about
you
this.
what,
they didn't
CJ,
want they didn't want you
let
talking
Spider go
about
ahead
that,
and
so
get it since you.
they opened that portal and sent him to the other side and let him come back real quick.
Yeah, he just went back. He
Well,
came back
hey,
through the portal.
if we give out too much knowledge, man, that's why we run under assumed names here because I don't want people thinking that we're the ones that's turning everybody woke. That's the new word they're using now, woke. I don't want them to think that that's us driving that truck, or we'll be like the flight MH. I can't think of the three digits behind it, or we'll be
It was
disappearing like that.
it was
But
Malaysian fight 317 or something like that.
but yeah, that's all I had on the trumpets and the blood river. If y'all brothers are ready to spin into the next topic that SG had for us tonight.
Let's go ahead and hear Spider. I think he had something to say. We want to wrap this topic up. Let's go ahead and get into these what's happenings.
No, I was good on that. I was just, saying that, I do remember a little piece on that. I thought I remember them finding some wreckage too, and I was just gonna double down on what I was saying about that.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing about putting that out there. If it was something I was trying to hide, yeah, I'm gonna throw a little debris from a certain type of plane because everyone flies on the same type of plane, whether you know it. They just have this commercial line, this commercial line, this commercial line. So just don't leave everything at the surface, my friend, or we'll be
I
confused for life.
understand. I understand what you're saying. You saying you want wants to open up a third hour, or be at least open and optimistic to other uh, uh, other things that could have happened. I'm right now, as far as face value, I'm just being logical. Like I say, it's over a body of water, an entire ocean. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. But now, if it had been on land, they were flying across a country and it's just gone, then it's like with no, you can't find it. I mean, it ain't like it's Noah's Ark, you know.
Well,
When
well,
they say you can't find it.
we've all heard of the Devil Triangle over by China, and we've all heard of the Bermuda Triangle. And guess what? It's not very deep. They sent submarines and stuff down there. They're like, oh, look, there's a plane right there, man, from World War II. So if it was there, my friend, they would have found it. It just doesn't exist because it's got transitioned to somewhere else. I want y'all to go back right during World War I, World War II. They they were practicing with some um, technology that they didn't really truly understand. They made a whole Navy vessel disappear. This is on record. It
You
disappeared
talking about
like for 3 minutes.
Phil-
And
talking about the
when
Philadelphia
it,
Project?
yes, sir. And when it reappeared, some of the sailors' arms were going through the metal.
Stuck into the walls and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
remember. I think I
yeah.
remember from like a
So
movie or something. But
no,
no,
that was not
no,
a
I'm
movie,
saying
my friend.
I'm saying they made several movies off of that same
So I
premise.
just want you to know that if they were doing that during World War I, World War II, when that plane disappeared, my friend, they have way higher technology now than they did back then. That's why we got these blackout vision goggles. They didn't have that during World War I, World War II. They didn't even have that when we were fighting in Vietnam. That's why the Vietnam was killing us left and right. That's why we basically was at a standstill in that war. We were fighting people in their own backyard, and we didn't. We were in a place we weren't supposed to be, and then they were fighting for their land, and we just over there and didn't really want to be. So you got to think about people's morale. People morale get low, man, when you're fighting a war that ain't going nowhere. But we're spinning into so many different other topics, man. So let's we may have to lose a topic, and we're at 35 minutes now. So let's go ahead and on into the next one you had for us, SG.
Well, you know me, man. I love a good conspiracy theory. I'm not gonna tear down your portal theory. I mean, shoot, I believe the moon is fake and we ran by lizard people, man, and I believe all type of UFO and everything, man. And so I believe anything can happen, and technology is out there. But speaking of lizard people, Joe Rogan just had a couple insiders, a couple whistleblowers from the UFO crash retrieval program. A couple certified guys that really served, and they had their security clearances, and they said they encountered alien beings face to face, and one of them actually said that he was on a UFO retrieval program. He was military intel, and he was on the you know the on the actual ships that got the UFOs. And he said, "Why on one of this little tender on as a military intelligence person, he used to monitor a bunch of phone calls, and these people would tell him about all the different alien species that we would encounter. Now, with these people credibility, it's up to you. You can check out the episode. Joe Rogan, I forgot the guy's name, but it's one of his recent episodes as of this date. And he said that they one of the three most popular reptilians that they would, I mean, the three most popular uh, aliens or non-human intelligence, if that's the new word, were tall whites, the grays, and the infamous reptilians. Let's drop the clip. Just talk show.
Now, the other third type that got mentioned on Mission was reptilians. But every time that they were mentioned, it was really quickly hushed up by whoever else was on the other end of the line. Shut up, don't say that, is what they were doing.
They don't want to talk about the
They don't want to talk about the reptilian presence at all. They would talk about the tall whites and the grays being in the lab environments, not a lot, but some. But these reptilians, it was like nobody wanted to talk about it.
Was there any sort of an explanation that anybody give you of why they don't want to talk about it?
No, the only time I got any inkling was that when I, was out of the program and other people started to talk to me about all the different, things. And they're like, well, how many races are there? I don't know. But some people talked about the reptilians. They're like, do you realize that these are evil?
He finished the quote that these are evil. Now, nobody want to talk about the reptilians. He further goes into that clip. If you check out the whole clip, it's fascinating. He also says that reptilians have an affinity for blood, kind of like sharks. When they smell blood, anything, they go into a bloodlust, into a feeding frenzy, and they feed off of negative energy, and they also are on Earth, their own planet, and in deep on a military bases and bases on the moon. Now that's what I'm speculating. So, like I said, I'm down for a good conspiracy. YouTube, let's go ahead and get demonetized and banned today. Let's talk about the reptilians, guys. What do you have to say? It's open.
Well, my take on it, friend, is I've been wanting to open up this topic to the pod for a while, but Pastor Oswald, man, Admiral Byrd told you it's plenty of land out there, my friend. And what the U.S. government, along with all the other world governments, have all been in cohesion with since the last World War, why they were able to make one treaty on one specific spot, Antarctica, and they want to call it a landmass, but it's more like a land bridge, man. It's a container. It's the cup lid to encase all of the world's water, because we all know that water at any stage is level. If you look at it at a pond, and you go up to a river, and you go up to a lake, if you go up to the ocean, it's all going to be flat, my friend. If you look at it in a cup, unless you're pouring it into your mouth, it's going to be level. So everything that is level has to have a container. So I know there are other lands because it was mentioned, but since Admiral Byrd has passed, and his memoirs have been taken and things like that, and now they have a pact say, oh, it's only researchers can come down here. We don't want y'all to mess mess up the natural life and the whales and the penguins and seals and all that great stuff. They know if people go down there and see extra land, they're going to want to go to the extra land. And by the way, I want y'all to look up what extra terra means. That means extra land, extra terra. So extraterrestrial. Think about that. They come from the extra land. They're not coming from space. They're not coming from space, my friends. They're not
Okay,
coming
you're
from
right about that.
space.
You're right about that, man. But it's extraterrestrial, meaning it's not of the territory, not of the land.
Okay, okay, my friend. So you get where this truck that I'm driving is headed, right? This Ford I'm in, this F-150. You get where it's going because it's not like I told you. We know more about this supposed space, my friend, than we do about what's in these oceans and these mermaids and these sirens and these mermen. And whether you know it or not, right when those 200 angels came down here, or angels, or Anunnaki, whatever you like to call them, because there's the land of the Anunnaki as well, the land of the giants, the land of Mars. This it's all those lands are there, man. But you'll have to just do your own research. But like I was saying, we know more about those supposed places than we know about what's in these waters, man. So when those 200 angels came down here, they did what they call miscegenation, and they took 200 of everything. So they took 200 women, but they also got 200 fish, whether it was a seal or a whale or whatever. They made with 200 of every version of everything that was down here. So that story about the Minotaur that was a bull head and a man body, that has happened. So over in Egypt, where they showing you a bird head and a man body, that happened. All of these things played out in our history. It's just that the flood was able to destroy anything that breathed oxygen. The reason I wanted to one day get into the topic of the mermaid and the sirens and all these other creatures is a reason why they look.
Hello, boy, he was cooking. We lost him again. Boy, you need to get back, stir that
And
pot, man.
it's a yeah, it's a reason why. It's a reason why, my friend. I don't know what keeps happening to my mic, but somebody's trying to silence me. But I will not be silenced this night. I will get this information out to y'all one way or another.
The comeback
But the
key.
thing about but the thing about that is that was fine for everything that breathed oxygen. What about all of the ones I told you that the miscegenation happened to that lived in the water? Water's not going to destroy them. They're just going to get angry that you're doing that. So that's my first take on this topic. I want to hear what you brothers are bringing.
Great take. Even though you didn't, you did kind of get into the reptilians, but we, great take still. Though we got a lot. We went all over the place on the level. Go ahead, Spider.
Man, I don't even know where to begin. Matter of fact, let me process that for a little minute. Go ahead, SG.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, look. I will say this. You ever heard of a raindrop? I mean, a raindrop is a ball. You know what I mean? You don't need no. It forms into a circle when it's just regular water. You know what I mean? And we got waves and tides and all that. You know what I'm saying? But we know we're not gonna. But you're right though. Water at rest is level, unless it's a raindrop or something like that. Weak molecular bonds is what they call them. So that's why it sticks together. But just to get into the reptilian thing, man. You know what I mean? I've been fascinated with this subject ever since a kid, man. Ever since the internet first came out. I believe when YouTube first came out these years ago, I think y'all kids don't even know this was time before YouTube. I think my first video I ever watched on YouTube was about reptilians. I mean, we got people like David Icke and David Wilcock and all these other whistleblowers from the government been coming out vaguely talking about this thing, and that's what's the one thing that they don't want to talk about. I mean, just the fact that, man, we got 12 foot strong, armor plated, smelly, vicious demon-looking reptilians that's controlling the world. They're running the base on the moon and controlling the government. I mean, this thing here is, man. I mean, this is this is this is crazy. I mean, if and I believe this is the reason why the government really don't want to give disclosure all the way out. As long as they some little grays or some tall white people, they with it. But nobody wants to talk about the reptilian. Nobody want to talk about the missing children and all the human trafficking. Where all these bodies and missing people going? Nobody wants to talk about the underground bases. You know what I mean? But yeah, we never seen one on camera. You know, with all these age smartphones, and I mean, let's talk about it. What's up? Go ahead.
Mr. SG, before Spider goes, I don't think the people got what I was saying as far as the fallen angels and you were saying about the reptilians. They're just that version of that, my friend. That's where it all tied in. That I don't think I said it, but I was alluding
Yeah,
to that.
you did
I
allude
didn't
to it.
want to leave.
You know,
I didn't want to leave the people hanging right there. But that's what I'm saying, people. That the fallen angels or entities, Anunnaki, whatever you want to call them, they made it with like a lizard or alligator or something similar to that. And you got this walking lizard creature that desires exactly what Skinny said. They want blood because guess what? They're cold blooded. They're not like us. So just think about that. And they weren't able to be wiped out by the water. So they're still here. They're those who built all these tunnels underground. They're there. It's underground cities. Just explore it. You'll find they're under New York. Elon Musk has built him one in LA as well. So just understand that it's tunnels everywhere, all over the United States.
we gonna give him an A for allude. He did allude. Let's go, Spider.
he did. He did something. Uh, man, as far as that reptilian doctrine, man, that's never been something that's been on my radar. Like talking about it. You know, it's a lot of information come up on it. You know, a lot of theories. Even some sightings and everything. But yeah, that little bit that's a little bit too rich for my blood. I'm warm. I'm warm blooded, so I know they're gonna stay away from me.
Nobody wants to talk about the reptilians. Well, let me ask you. Let me throw a question at you, man. Now I have heard through a lot of credible sources, man, that this is the big secret of the, the dark shadow government. This is one of the big secrets that they don't want people to get out and tell. That's why they don't want to talk about the disclosure. You know what I mean? What do you think about that? Like, if they, obviously they saying that these UAPs and these orbs and these drones and these all this stuff is real. I mean, the cat is out the bag on that. You know what I mean? My question to you: do you think that we are alone? And if we're not, what do you think these? What would you think that the aliens actually look like? And species who are there? Or do you think that they're kind of like what CJ is saying about that it was just homegrown cloning or breeding through the Anunnaki or the angels?
Well, the way we've been, the way the information has been put out to us for so many years is and then you try to go to research and everybody yet and still have the propaganda and information out there. It's like you don't know which way is up. But according to the science that I pretty much uh, I pretty much follow, we look up and we see all those shining objects of light, and one can only assume that they could be other suns. And if there are other suns, then there are other solar systems. If there are other solar systems, then this very well could not just be hap by chance of elements coming together to create. Uh, what we have created here, what's been created here on this planet. So I think it's definitely a possibility. But now, as far as what they may look like, That's up to the imagination. Let the best imagination win, my friend.
Yeah, yeah, true that, true that. I mean, like we said, we have reports of vanished looking like creatures. We have reports of the classical gray alien with the large head. The tall whites, I guess they look blue white looking, tall humanoid looking creatures. Well, of course, we have tales of the reptilians. I even heard of bird looking aliens, and I guess any form of life that you may see on Earth. You know what I mean? It's a different variants of it. You know what I mean? It's all different type of human looking creatures. Like it's look at the diversity that we have here, on this planet. We have white, pale looking humans from the darkest black chocolate dude in the jungle, you know what I mean? So we have all different type of shades and colors. We don't have a blue human, but we have, red skinned Indians and, brown people and, tan and all that. So I believe it's infinite probably types of species of aliens if they do exist. And if these reptilians are running us from the moon and this is their planet, as there's been rumored to be, uh, I always say, I guess they look at us like cattle, like we like a farm to them. Like okay, we need us some humans today. Drop the spaceship, give us our shipment of humans. And so when I ask the question why we never seen the reptilians, when the last time that the humans seen the chicken plant? When these chickens up in this mass farm and this factory farm, they up in there clucking and eating they grains and they get shot up with their steroids and they never see that church's chicken drive through. What's y'all what's y'all what's y'all response to that? What's y'all thoughts on that?
My take on it is you did see one. She passed away, and since her passing, that kind of broke the spell where a lot of people are now waking up. And I'm speaking of the former Queen of Wales, Queen of England. And
Yeah, 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 yeah,
if
yeah.
if you know anything about history, you would know that she owned the totality of the world. She owned a piece of every country and a piece of the United States as well. And people think that the British just gave up and went away. No, 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 no. They said we're going to pay them infinity tax to keep the land. So just understand that the British just didn't leave, my friend, just because of George Washington said, "Y'all get up out of here," and threw a little tea in the harbor. That was not the scenario. They said, "Okay, you want to be free? Okay, well, you're going to pay to be free." So just
Mhm.
understand that's why we are taxed to the limit right now. Go go look at when you go to the store and they say, well, maybe not in your area because some states don't have a state tax, but
Hold on. Let
in
me
in,
give you a little
in the
pushback on that. Let me, if I may, can I give you a little pushback on that, man. The whole purpose of the revolution was to no taxation without representation. That we didn't want to keep on paying money to the queen and to the crown, and we didn't have a say so. And they just, that's what the
okay, so
whole.
now you feel you have a say so, and you're still being taxed.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay
yeah.
then. Well, you feel you do. But do you feel that your when you went to the election box that your vote was counted? You know,
Yeah,
some people would be to the contrary, like, hey, my government failed me. But that's
well,
on for another topic. So
if
I
I
was just
won, my
alluding to she was one of these Draco um, reptilians that you speak of, man, and she
yeah,
had a spell over the whole world. And when she died, if you have to go back and watch the ceremony, they broke the witch's one right at her funeral. You'll have to it's a whole bunch of symbols they put in front of you. You're like, why would they break that? You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? But
and it's some of the most
and
crazy stuff, man, I ever seen that film.
yeah,
They
so
said they're gonna
it's
bury
rituals.
her guards alive in a tomb with her until they starve to death.
So it's a lot of strange thing, or you putting them down there for food. so she could have a food source. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of things you have to. You're a forward thinker, my friend. I don't want to do all the driving. I want people's minds to drive themselves. But just think about this: if she is what I'm alluding she was, and her wand was broken, so her power was gone. Now you see her son. They say he has cancer. He's now king,
Prince
and
Henry, King Henry.
not prince. He's the king. King Charles. He's the king now because his
Oh,
mother's dead. His Harry's and the other one's father. You know who I speak of? He
uh,
was married to Princess Di that got killed in the car
yeah,
wreck with the Muslim guy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The guy she was married to. That's who the current king. But he doesn't have the power she had. So I just want y'all to understand that. And alluding to the Draconians again, they still do exist. They're in all of the back scenes. They're played out in these cartoons that you see all the time, and they're used as fictitious things, but it's some truth to it. So they're not just grabbing these stories and things that they're putting in front of our kids. We're just not seeing it. You'll have to go look at these cartoons, man. They're preying on our kids, man. So, me and you spoke about this earlier. That this is the future. So it's too late for you to get me and Spider and you, man. They don't want us. We're old and past prime. So they want the youth, man, with the blood and the anachrome is very high in their system. Yeah, you can scare me a little bit, but then I'm gonna say, fuck it, it's kill me. It's no more scaring me. It's nothing else you can do. Kill me. But you can get that anachrome from them kids over and over, and it's a movie. You have to go watch it, man. And it's called um God, I can't think of it. It's where they just slowly get all the smoke out of you, and all of them just feed on you. Uh, oh man, I
Some
can't
type
think.
of vampire type movie, because I think the adrenochrome kind of like where the vampire legend came from, and I heard about the actors drinking child blood and stuff, but I can't think of the movie. But why you thinking of that, man? Those are very interesting takes, man. And I wanted to let the audience know we appreciate y'all. If y'all made it with us this far, like, subscribe, and comment. And don't just think we just pulling all this out of our tail now. We've been doing a lot of research, and a lot of this stuff we probably not citing the sources, but a lot of this stuff is our own record, especially the reptilians being able to hypnotize you and mask their appearance. They've been rumored to be shapeshifters, and they also have a mechanism where they can mask and hologram, mask their ships by spraying some type of chemical, and they can come on TV and they can make them control your mind where you can't see them and stuff like that. So that's probably why we haven't had the footage. I done heard from a lot of credible, a lot of different sources that is true, that you can't observe them. Like, if even so, that's, you might be thinking you're looking at a queen with great teeth, but she probably was a reptilian the whole time. And even Vladimir Putin said that he was on record saying that he has seen her in her true form. And in America, all our news is you know censored or whatever. As we lose, I guess we lost CJ. He should be back. But yeah, but that's been a lore. That's been a lot of lore going on a long time. You know what I mean, about the reptilians. But as we waiting on CJ, Spider, you got any more final takes on that, or anything on just the happenings in the world, and or any of these fringe topics that we into before we get into this last Super Bowl topic?
Yeah. Well, we pretty much put out the message that we all need to wake up. Not that not necessarily that we have to wake up, but that we all have to start researching things on our own and to get back into reading. That was a clip I watched about on Bill Cosby. I don't know if you've seen that reel. He was talking about several black inventors
Yeah, yeah, I
that
seen
didn't
that one
make
too.
it to the
Yeah.
history books. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like he said he had to dig a little bit to find them. And so that's with all information, not just the snake people and or the rivers turning red and or your political view. Ones need to be just informed and educated and knowing on what's really what's really going on out there. And so CJ might not come back, so we I guess we can go ahead on and shoot on over to the Super Bowl era, and let's talk about how the big Mahoney went down like a jabroni.
Well, go on get into it. CJ, he messaged me and said he had to make a quick run right quick. So go on get into it, man. I didn't even watch the game, man. Tell me about it. How did the game go? And if you can get
Oh
into
man,
the
oh man.
halftime show a little bit.
I man, listen, I of course I was expecting a high caliber game, so I came, due to some technical difficulties and I was on the grill. I missed about the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game, but because as a matter of fact, and like I think the opening drive, Philly struck on them off the gate. So, it was like, ooh wee. When they struck out the gate like that, I said, "Oh yeah, it's they not finna play with them fellas." And I kind of favored Philly to win. I figured Vegas was gonna be thinking that we was gonna turn a three-peat, a first ever in the NFL. So I was like, yeah, once they get everybody on that bandwagon, then they gonna skirt skirt. And but it was the underdog time to shine. Like I said, Hurts, he played for Alabama, and Nick Saban benched him for Tua, and and both of them guys, going into the league, but it's just like in the league, Tua got hurt and let his team down. He did the same thing in Alabama. Um, he got hurt, and Hurt stepped in and took their team to a championship. Then he get to the league, and he come into the league, and people was unimpressed, and the ones that was unimpressed, they impressed now. So they
I heard
he,
that.
they put the him. It wasn't just him. Saquon, man, dogging them out. It just, it was that defense, that defense was biting like a pit bull. I'm talking about they almost accomplished the most sacks ever in the Super Bowl. I think the most sacks was like seven of them, 7 sacks. Man, I know they had Mahomes at about 5 or 6. I'm talking about, man, they was on his ass like a tag. I'm talking about you can read the plates. You hear me? So yeah, man, it really wasn't even exciting no more after the second quarter. But the halftime show though, oh man, I'm talking about it's so much going on with that. Man, my guy, my guy, Kendrick Lamar. Oh yeah, he stunned the whole world. The whole world still don't know what to do. But there's people right now watching that performance and trying to break down all the subliminal messages. The everything from Serena doing the crip walk because she used to mess with Drizzy back in the gap. You got Samuel L. Jackson playing Uncle Sam. Well, not Uncle Sam. Well, yeah, you can say Uncle Sam. They said Uncle Sam wasn't a white man; he was a black man. But yeah, it was just man, it was just a lot of different narratives going on, and then they had to they banned one of his background dancers because they were raising the Sudanese flag with a Palestinian flag on there.
Yeah, I
In
thought he
pro-
said it was somebody that left the stage. Yeah, left the field.
Yeah. They banned that man from all NFL stadiums and events and games. I was like, golly, boy. Now I remember Trump saying he wanted to bring back freedom of speech. That came out his mouth. He wanted to cancel CNN and all these other networks because what they said about him. But then he said he want to bring back free speech where you can say what you want. So he because of him being persecuted for what he's saying, he want to target these outlets and say, man, we need to bring back free speech. But now when the man exercise his freedom of speech, right? Man, he done got banned from the NFL stadiums and all game and performances, and he do.
Well, I heard, man, that he was somebody that rushed the stage, a streaker or something that just ran up there, man.
No, he was no streaker. The man was performing. He was in there dressed like the rest of the performers. He was standing on top of the car. He was standing on top of the Buick, and then he bust that flag out. Now when he made his move, he did his dance. He shot on off because he already knew his protest of because all that was in protest of what Trump was what he been putting down the Sudanese flag the conflict that's going on over there, the aid that they was getting that the last administration provided. He snatched it up, and then him talking about taking over the Gaza Strip and and it being under and displacing all the Palestinians and stuff. So people there, they felt some type of way, so they wanted to raise awareness to the fact. People like, hey man, look at this, look what's going on now. The man
Yeah,
saying
man,
one
I think
thing and
that's
then
more
doing
fake
something
news, though,
else.
man. He came out and said on his Super Bowl interview that he wanted to rebuild it for the Gaza people, take it over so they can't be bombed and they can live in peace. Said he wanted to rebuild it, have people like the Saudis and people in Dubai build skyscrapers and turn it into a resort city,
Man, them people over
and
there,
they could
them people
rebuild
in
it.
them
And
Arab
he
nations
wanted to.
they don't need that man help. They got the Arab,
Man,
they
listen,
got the
okay,
money.
listen to
They
what you
got
just said, though, Jew. You just said that he wanted to displace them and take it over. Now, when I just told you he wanted to rebuild it for them into a paradise
how
for
you gonna
them,
rebuild it for
so
them?
they
They
can
don't
be
what they need.
protected and don't have to worry about being bombed anymore.
But
Now you
my he
just
gon- but
changed the narrative
but
that
the
quick.
thing is, they got a conflict that's been going on since biblical time. How you gonna take what you don't who's to say that the land belong to who? It's up to him to say, okay, I'm gonna just take it from y'all and put y'all somewhere else
No,
and
what he's saying is,
rebuild it
man, that
for
y'all people been
another group.
dropping the ball for years, and y'all been having these wars and Hamas and everything for years. He said, while Hamas has been destroyed, the whole city is in rubble. America, we're gonna rebuild it and replace the rebuild Palestine for the Palestinian people. And he also said for
Hey,
anybody that wants to come to Palestine, any Muslim, anybody's gonna be a free nation, and they're gonna be protected. No more bombs and no more wars. That's what he said out of his own mouth at his own Super Bowl
okay.
press interview that he did
So
on Super Bowl Sunday on the Air Force One.
did those people ask for his help? Did they ask for anybody's help? No, because they told everybody stay out our business. So if they
Okay,
telling you to stay out, if you see me going toe to toe with a guy and you run up, you like, bro, he said, man, get off my board. And I'm like, oh man, stay out this right here. Both were like, nah, man, stay out this. So who is you to go to come run up, jump up because you don't know what's going on?
and you know what? I agree with you. America don't need to be and get involved in these people wars.
So why
But
so why so why
if
are
this man
you
can put an end to this crap and rebuild these people land and do something for them, more power to him. As long as we not you know occupying the territory and we trying to take over these people and do them wrong. If he really trying to rebuild their land and protect them, I'm for it. Cause I'm not agreeing with Israel with the way they ousted them people and killing them off and got them in open air prisons and stuff like that. So
what
I think that was his move, man. His move was just
So
We gonna
what about the South African the South African people over there? He
I
uh
heard
he
about that.
he trying to
I didn't. I'm
dictate.
not.
He trying to
I heard about
dictate.
that briefly. Go ahead and
Yeah,
inform me what's going on.
right. Well, the white South Africans over there, he said that they treating them bad. They taking their land and giving it away to the black people. He said, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna I want to either bring them over here and hook them up, get them straight, or try to or go over there and tell them they wrong for this shit, give them their shit back. Don't feel like, man, what is you talking about?
Now, Trump,
We ain't took nothing from
I do not
nobody.
agree with that at all. And
Huh?
then you have my first. If that is true, I haven't listened to the South African thing. But if are bringing these apartheid apartheid people over here, that's egregious, and I don't agree with it. That'd be the
Yeah, well,
first thing that I say that I haven't agreed with what he
well,
did. And I was
you
up in
better
the
go check. You better go check it out, my guy, because that's exactly what. But that's what Tesla from. I mean,
yeah. That's
uh,
what Elon from.
that's what
Elon
he's
probably
right.
advocated for
That's what right. So you already know who's been in this area about that. See, man,
it. Exactly.
man, that dude 47 man is a gopher, man. He remind me of that dude. You know how you playing a pickup game of basketball, and you got this one dude. Everybody know he can't play, but he got the last down. So everybody know he got the last down because they gave him the last down. Like, man, we're gonna go and just give you the last down. Everybody take his down and everything. So then when he get there, now you got a team that running the court. Here come the man with the last down. So now he feel like he in power. Now he like, oh yeah, I get to pick who I want and pick who I don't. And so that's exactly who he remind me of. That's how he act. So now, as soon as he get that little power, he go to talk about, oh yeah, yeah, we're gonna play with my ball and this line right here, the wall out. Ain't no none of this right here, cause it's my game, it's my down. And like, man, if you don't get out of here, man, we've been playing like that, man. That's what this guy. That's how this guy be acting, man.
Well,
And
man, that's a great analogy, but
I
if you
mean,
want to put
it's the truth. It is what it is.
that's a
It
great
is what
analogy
it
if it weren't for the fact that he done already won 45, so he'd already been in the game.
is. Man, I only thing I just wish I just wish that uh you know a lot of people would really understand, instead of being blind to the fact with this blind hope that to see what's really going on, man. Like you know you he made all these promises and all these say what he can do and what he don't do, but uh, uh everything he been doing is pretty much it's like it's geared only in one direction, and then he could keep contradicting himself in so many ways. Like here you go and meddling in these other countries, a business that you ain't got nothing to do with, but then you talking about the last camp. I mean, the last uh, the last president and them people occupying what was that country, Afghanistan and everything. But then you going now you going over there trying you trying to kick something else off. Then you talking about then you talking about all this over here in this country. You want to you talking about you for the police, but then you turn around and everybody that I mean it's just all over the place, man. It's just so much. It's about to it's trying to run all out at the same time. It's just man. But I know we at the end of the line, so I can't really get on. We have to say that for the for another show. That and what else was that we was on a little bit earlier too? Uh, uh, um, yeah, well, I want to say it was that. I want to say probably the religion demonstration, and in these end times, that's something. Yeah, that's what it was. That. And because this 47 stuff, this finna be going on for the next 4 years. So it's not going. It ain't going nowhere. And then on top of that, uh, with uh, with what the what CJ was saying earlier with the end time. I mean, the signs ain't gonna do nothing but keep coming if there are true signs or if they coincidence. So that's gonna be an ongoing thing too. So yeah, we're gonna say that for the next time, and yeah, we're gonna
Well, I
bring it
tell
on in.
you
I'm
what,
gonna
we're
let
gonna go ahead
you
and wrap
wrap
it
it
up.
up.
Ziggy, I see you just came in, kind of heard the little topics we talked about, but we kind of reached our limit. So I'm gonna go ahead and get us out here. You can go ahead and check us out, though.
Glad to be here, my brothers. It's just talk Ziggy, man. I came in a little late. Had a long day. Where can I start? Super Bowl was unpredicted. I mean, I'm glad the Eagles won it. You know, it's good to see another team, win, come up, fight hard, rebuild, and good luck to both teams next year. It's always another year. Um, but on all the topics, I didn't get to hear most of what everybody was saying, so I don't want to back talk on it. But I'm sure everybody gave a good view on it.
So like and subscribe so y'all can hear more and always
Yeah,
come back for more because we got it. It's always gonna be right here. You're only gonna hear it from the Just Talk Godcast. Yeah, good night, Kings. Good night, world. Good night, Queens. It's always a pleasure.